today we are looking at how do you find the area of a semicircle. So in our last lesson we looked at area of a whole circle, and we saw that when you find the area of a whole circle, you're looking at the inside. How much is on the inside of the circle? How much space does it take up? We also know that a semicircle is a half of a circle. So today we're going to be looking at how do you find the area, or how much space a semicircle takes up. So this is very similar to area of a circle. We're using radius still. We're also still using pi. But it also is like circumference of a semicircle when it's in half. So we're going to bring that half piece back. So what we're looking at is a semicircle. So here is half a circle. And we are looking at the inside of the half circle. So you can think of this like half of a pizza. And how much food is on the inside, or how much space does half of a pizza take up? Okay, what's the area of it? Kind of looks like a taco. Okay, so we are going to look at area of a semicircle. So let's talk about our very first example. And our first example that we have is this semicircle that has a radius. Sorry, let's deal with this monster right here first. Apparently ignoring him was not working, this math monster. Okay, so we have area of a semicircle. Again, we're going to be looking at radius. So when I have a semicircle that looks like this, and it says that the radius is 10 feet, I'm able to look for the area by using the formula. So let's go ahead and put our formula up here again. Our formula for area of a semicircle is area of half. Okay, so we're going to be dividing everything by half today. So this is the semicircle. And we're going to be using pi r squared. But again, we're cutting it in half. So we're dividing it by 2. So it's just half of the area of a normal circle. Okay, so let's go ahead and start by looking at the radius. The radius is 10. So we're going to use 3.14 times 10 squared. And then we're going to cut that all in half. Cut it all by 2. So we have 10 times 10 times 3.14. Well, this is 100 times 3.14. And 100 times 3.14 is going to give us 314. We're going to cut this in half for a semicircle. And when you divide this in half, you get 314 divided by 2, 157. So 157 feet, but it's also squared because you are still working with squared because area is squared. All right, let's do another example that they have. So another example that they have is another semicircle. And this semicircle here has a radius of 9 inches. Okay, so again, we have radius of 9, which is awesome. We want a radius, we want to work with radius. So they give us the radius. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plug it right back into that formula. We're going to do 3.14 times 9 squared. Just like we did yesterday, but then we're going to divide everything by 2. Okay, so we have 9 squared is the same as 9 times 9 times 3.14, and 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 3.14 Again, then we're going to divide that all in half. 81 times 3.14 gives us, that's not right, 81 times 3.14 is 254 and 34 inches. Okay, but that right there is just circumference. We now need to cut this in half, so we're going to divide it by 2. And that is going to give me a grand total today of 127 and 17 inches. Again, we are still squaring because it is area. Okay? What happens though if they give you diameter? So let's do one with the diameter so that you can see what happens to your problems when you're given the diameter. So example C, I believe it was 15 as the diameter. Oops, I scrolled the wrong. No, it was 30. Okay, so we have a semicircle. That is not a semicircle. We're just gonna move on. That's not a semicircle, Miss Englander. This is a semicircle. Okay, there we go. Semicircle of 30 feet is our diameter. Okay, so from here to here is 30 feet. But I don't want diameter. I want the radius. So we're going to just cut this in half, and that gives us 15. So the radius is 15. So we're going to be using 15 as our number to be able to solve this problem. So again, 3.14 times 15 squared, and we're going to divide it all by 2 because it is a semicircle, not a full circle. All right, so let's look at 15 times 15. And 15 times 15 is going to give me 225 times 3.14. And then, again, still going to divide the whole thing in half when we're finished. And so when we get this, we get 225 times 3.14 for pi. And that gives us 706.5, or in a half, divided by a half. Ooh, I bet. Like that, we're going to end up with a quarter. So our total is 353.25. And again, we're feet squared. Got to square the feet. Because of area. So the only difference between our last lesson and today's lesson is one was a full circle, so you keep the full the full area. This one is a semicircle, so you only want half. Okay, you want to cut it in half. All right, so it's your turn now for some try-its. And once you do your try-its, then we can check your understanding and move on from there. So try-it number 1 today. Try-it number 1 is a half circle or a semicircle, and it has a radius of 11 centimeters. Ooh, look at that fancy circle. Okay, circle number 2, semicircle number 2 is another half circle. And this one has a diameter of 8 meters. Okay, so solve accordingly. And then our very last semicircle also has a diameter. Ooh, they want you to do extra work of 5 yards. Okay, so go ahead and solve these 3. Hit pause so you don't hear me solving. And then when you're finished, go ahead and hit play so that you can check your understanding. Great. So let's check out our first one. Again, we want 3.14 times the radius. Well, our radius equals 11. So we already have that. So I'm going to do radius times 11 squared, and then I'm going to cut the whole thing in half. Okay? All right. So, so sorry about that, you guys. 11 squared is the same thing as 11 times 11. 11 times 11 is 121 times 3.14. So let's go ahead and it's 3.14. And our answer is 379.94, but then I have to cut it in half. So I'm cutting it in half to find the semicircle. Divide by 2. And that gives me 189 97 centimeters squared. Again, square those centimeters up because we are looking at the area. All right, number 2 with 8 meters. 8 meters represents the diameter. We don't want diameter. We want radius. So to find the radius, we're going to do 8 divided in half, which gives us 4. So my radius is 4. So from the center to the end, that one's 4 meters. Now I'm going to do 3.14 times 4 squared divided by 2. All right, 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. And 16 times 3.14. 4 times 4 times 3.14 is going to give us 50.24. So we get 50.24, but we need to cut that in half, and that is going to give us 25.12. And that is meters squared. So a full circle is 50 and 24 hundredths. Half of that circle is going to be 25 and 12 hundredths. All right, and our very last one. All right, our very last example today, and your last, try it. There we go. I'm not really sure what's happening there with my overhead. I think I've hit it one too many times. Okay, again, this is diameter. Diameter is 5, but we want radius. So we're going to take 5 and cut it in half, which gives us 2.5. All right, so same process. Even though this is a decimal, we're still going to do the same thing. So we have 2.5 squared times 3.14, and again, we will cut the whole thing in half. All right, 2.5 times 2.5 times 3.14. So 6.25 times 3.14 is 19.625. That's weird. We haven't gone out this far yet. Okay, and we're going to cut that in half. So we're going to divide that by 2. Wow. Okay, we're going to round to the nearest hundred. And so that really gave us 9.81. The number was 9.8125, but we're just going to round this so we only have 2 places after the decimal, and this is yards squared. Okay, so yards squared. All right, go ahead and answer your essential question now. How do you find the area of a semicircle? How do you do that? And then put your level of understanding out to the side. Where are you at with area of a semicircle? So at this point, you are welcome to come on back to the Google Meet and ask for help, or you can go on and do your practice work. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and effort, and make it a great day.